Hey out there, hope you're doing good and very happy to see you on the channel. Over the years and months, I got a bunch of questions concerning which lenses to buy for this camera or that camera, mostly Fujifilm cameras, and I find it very hard to answer these questions just with a simple lens recommendation because it really depends on a lot of things. Are you aiming for video or photo? Do you need a versatile lens for both? Do you focus on landscape, portraits or street photography? You prefer a good autofocus or you love manual focus? So many factors which makes it impossible to give a short answer and a simple lens recommendation. And actually sometimes I don't know which is the best lens for this and that by myself. Over the years I bought a lot of different lenses, used them and sold them again because they didn't fit to my shooting style or are just not a good fit for what I'm shooting most of the time. But with this process, over the years, I naturally found my best lens lineup of focal length, which I really love to use for different kinds of photography, and I recognized that not only one native Fujifilm lens survived in my photography kit. I used a huge variety of different native Fujifilm and third-party Fujifilm lenses over the years, at first for my XT4 and now for my XT5, and I realized that I'm more than happy with the Viltrox lens lineup for my Fujifilm cameras. This brand somehow managed it to produce lenses which are equivalent to native Fujifilm lenses, but with a much better price and sometimes even better performance. So let's start and take a deep dive into my favorite Fujifilm lenses and lower budget alternatives for Fujifilm cameras. First off, let's talk about build quality. The Viltrox 23mm is surprisingly well built for the price. The metal construction feels solid and premium, yet it's still lightweight enough for a comfortable carry. Plus it comes with a clickless aperture ring, which some of you may or may not like. This lens is pretty impressive considering its price point, and the center is sharp even at f1.4. As you move towards the corners, there's some softness, it's wide open, but it improves when you stop down. Chromatic aberration and fringing are controlled pretty well, though you might see a bit of it in high contrast situations, but nothing that you can't be corrected in post. Autofocus performance. This is where things really get interesting. The 23mm is one of Viltrox's older lenses, and they have improved a lot in recent years. But I never had any issues with the autofocus of this lens. It may not be as snappy as Fujifilm's native 23mm, but for the price point it's more than adequate. Eye detection continuous autofocus works well, especially for portrait and street photography. The 23mm focal length is versatile. It's perfect for street photography, portraits and even some landscape work. It's wide enough to capture context, but not so wide that it distorts faces or subjects. At around $300 USD, the Viltrox 23mm f1.4 is an amazing value for Fujifilm shooters who want the fast, versatile prime lens without breaking the bank. The Fujifilm native 23mm f1.4 is around $900, so it's around 3 times the price. The lens feels premium right off the box. It's got an all-metal construction, which gives it a durable high-end feel, especially at this price point. Weighing in at about 420 grams, it's heavier than a kit lens, but still balances really well with the Fujifilm XT5. I've taken it out in a variety of conditions and the images are tech sharp. Wide open at f1.4, there's a tiny bit of softness in the corners, but it sharpens when you stop it down to f2 or f2.8. Honestly, for the price, the center sharpness is incredible at f1.4. Viltrox has improved their autofocus over the years and the 30mm is no exception. When I tested it for vlogging, face tracking was spot on and it handled fast subject changes with no issues. So if you're using this lens for video, it's quiet, which is important for keeping your audio clean. Whether you're into landscape, architecture or vlogging, this lens gives you a great bang for your buck, especially for Fuji shooters who want the ultra-wide angle look without shelling out for a more expensive Fujifilm branded lens. And I often use it for portrait photography as well, as you can see in one of my latest videos. It gives you a pretty unique perspective and I really enjoy taking portraits with this lens. At around 450 USD, this lens is priced well below Fujifilm's own offerings, especially their wider primes like the 60mm f1.4 around 1000 USD and the 40mm f1.8 at around 900 US dollar. Because you're getting an extra stop of light with the Viltrox, the value is impressive for a third-party lens. First off, let's talk about the build quality. Viltrox has really stepped up their game with the new Pro lens lineup. The lens feels solid and premium in hand. It's made from metal, giving it that nice weight without being overly heavy. It's definitely well built, which is great for long-term durability. Wide open f1.2, you get a beautiful dreamy bokeh, but don't worry, the center sharpness is impressive even at f1.2. But stepping down to around f1.2, the sharpness across the frame is excellent, making this lens great for landscape or street photography. As I already said, Viltrox lenses have improved a lot in this area, and the 27mm f1.2 is no exception. It's also silent, so if you're a videographer, you don't have to worry about the autofocus mode or noise ruining your audio. So who is this lens for? Well, with its 27mm focal length, it's a great all-rounder, but I would suggest the lens mainly for portrait and street photography. The wide f1.2 aperture also makes it ideal for low light situations, so if you're a night shooter or want to capture those moody shots, this is a fantastic choice. And it's also great for video work. The smooth aperturing and fast autofocus make it a solid option for run and gun filmmakers. The 27mm is priced with around 570 US dollars and isn't the cheapest lens from Viltrox. And they definitely raised the price for their Pro lineup, but there's no native Fujifilm lens which is comparable on specs. So the closest lens from Fujifilm is the 33mm f1.4 lens, which is around 800 USD. I haven't used this lens, but I think a lower price for an even faster lens is a pretty solid compromise. As you can see, Viltrox is a really good alternative to the Fujifilm lens lineup if you want to save some money without sacrificing in performance. Without any doubt, I can really recommend testing out or buying some of these lenses for your Fujifilm cameras. I will constantly use these lenses and always keep an eye open for their new releases. So let me know in the comments what you think about the Viltrox lenses and if you can recommend other lenses from third-party brands. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully see you in the next video. Bye und auf Wiedersehen.